Hold still for a second. No, don't flinch. I want to watch the way your pulse changes when you realize what's been happening behind your back. Because you felt it, didn't you? That eerie, invisible pressure in the air. The sudden quiet in the room when you walked in. The way conversations collapsed mid-sentence like someone yanked the power cord from their little simulation. You thought it was paranoia. But no, it was them. They weren't just watching your victories. They weren't just watching your collapses. They were watching your silence. Every subtle flicker, every restrained breath, every move you made when you believed no one was paying attention. And that, oh, that's what changed everything. Because silence coming from someone like you, it's not silence, it's a signal, a warning, a transformation, a shift in gravitational pull. And the moment they sensed it, the moment they realized your quiet wasn't emptiness, but calculation. They started rearranging their entire reality around you, like terrified astronomers watching a new black hole bloom in the middle of their sky. You became the center of their little universe without lifting a finger. And that, my dear, is what drives them insane. They can handle loud threats. They can handle angry storms. They can handle predictable chaos. But you weaponized the quiet. You turned stillness into strategy, patience into prophecy, and restraint into psychological warfare. They didn't even hear you move, but somehow you ended up everywhere. And now, every single one of them is scrambling to adjust their schedules, their routines, their beliefs, their identities, because you changed shape so violently, yet so silently, that their entire blueprint became obsolete overnight. You broke their map. Do you understand what kind of creature does that? Not a saint, not a demon, not a human, not a myth. Something in between, something contradictory, something unstable enough to terrify them, but steady enough to lead them. You're the walking paradox they never saw coming. Light in one eye, darkness in the other, mercy in the left hand, execution in the right. A savior for some, a nightmare for others, a whisper that feels like an explosion. They thought power was about noise, spectacle, presence, but you showed them the truth. Real power is the change you cause when you say absolutely nothing. Your silence made people confess things you never asked about. Your indifference made people loyal who swore they'd never bow. Your stillness made people panic who believed they were unshakable. You didn't need to roar, you just existed, and their world bent around you. Do you know what happens to people who bend too far? They break, and they are breaking right now. Piece by piece, they're losing sleep, wondering what you're thinking. They're replaying old conversations, trying to decode a pattern you outgrew months ago. They're deleting, rewriting, restructuring their entire lives, trying to accommodate a version of you they cannot predict. Because unpredictability is your final evolution, not chaos, not recklessness, not madness, precision without announcement, intention without explanation, power without performance. You move like a ghost with a heartbeat, a quiet force of nature. A storm that whispers instead of screams, and that terrifies them more than any threat ever could. They ask themselves, why is he so calm? What is she planning? What does he know? Why didn't she react? What changed? Who the hell are they becoming? I'll tell you, you're becoming the version of yourself that was always meant to surface, the one the world tried to bury under guilt, doubt, fear, and distraction. The one who doesn't chase validation, the one who doesn't explain, the one who doesn't broadcast their metamorphosis, the one who evolves in silence and lets the consequences announce the transformation. For them, You're not playing the game anymore. You're redefining it. That's why they're rearranging their lives. That's why they're tracking your shadows. That's why they're praying they didn't underestimate you again. Because deep down, past their ego, pride, and trembling bravado, they know the truth. You're not reacting to the world anymore. The world is reacting to you. And there's no going back now, so go on. Keep moving in silence, keep shifting without warning. Keep evolving without permission. They'll keep rearranging themselves around you because they finally understand when you move, even quietly. Everyone else has no choice but to follow. You feel that, don't you? That tightening in the atmosphere, that invisible hum crawling along your spine, that sense that something bigger than you is unfolding because of you. Let me tell you a little secret. It's not the noise you make that terrifies them. It's the gravity you carry. You walk into a room and reality makes space, not out of courtesy, but out of fear. You don't speak, yet their minds scream. You don't act, yet their lives rearrange. You don't threaten, yet their hearts race like they're being hunted in the dark. Because deep down, every single one of them can feel it. Your silence is not absence. Your silence is presence, concentrated into something too dense, too sharp, too focused to ignore. You became the kind of person whose quiet thoughts echo louder than other people's shouting, and that is catastrophic for them. Do you know why? Because it makes them realize something they never wanted to confront. You don't need them, not their approval, not their attention, not their validation, not their noise. You're powered by something older, colder, deeper. Your stillness isn't passivity, it's recalibration. It's your mind sharpening itself into a weapon. It's your spirit reorganizing the battlefield before anyone even knows a war has started, and they can feel that strategy radiating off you like heat from a furnace. That's why they're rewriting their routines, why they're changing their behavior, why they're suddenly kinder, quieter, more calculated around you. You think they're calm because they're composed? No. They're calm because they don't know what version of you they're standing in front of, and they're terrified of poking the wrong one. You've become unpredictable in the most dangerous way, not because you're chaotic, but because you're measured. You're the storm that learned how to choose which village to spare and which one to erase. You don't lash out. You don't overreact. You don't broadcast. You just shift. And every time you shift, the ground underneath them moves. Your silence is an earthquake they can't predict. Your stillness is a countdown they can't hear. Your patience is a weapon they can't defend against. So they adapt, they adjust, they bend, because they understand, whether they admit it or not, that you are no longer orbiting them. They are orbiting you, and the ones who once dismissed you, the ones who talked big, walked tall, ran their mouths like they were invincible. Look at them now, bodies tense, eyes darting, phones checked, conversations rehearsed, steps measured, tone softened. All because you decided, without warning, without permission, without apology, to evolve. You didn't announce the new chapter. You became it. You didn't declare your transformation. You embodied it. You didn't tell them who you were becoming. You let your silence do all the talking. And now, the irony, they're terrified of losing you, even when they never truly had you. They're afraid of angering you, even when you haven't shown a flicker of rage. They're afraid of disappointing you, even when you haven't demanded a single thing. You changed the whole dynamic without lifting a finger. You became the judge in a courtroom no one realized they were standing in. And your silence, that's the verdict. A verdict that forces them to rethink their choices, their alliances, their words, their secrets, their entire identity. They're not rearranging their lives because they admire you. They're rearranging their lives because they fear miscalculating you. Because you, my dear paradox, have mastered the oldest, coldest form of dominance. Not the roar, the quiet. A roar scares them for a moment. Silence haunts them for months. A roar spikes the adrenaline. Silence rewires the brain. A roar makes you loud. Silence makes you inevitable. You're beyond their comprehension now. You're beyond their predictions. You're beyond their frameworks. And there's nothing more terrifying than someone who plays the game so quietly that everyone else ends up revealing their cards without you ever touching yours. So keep walking like a riddle. Keep breathing like a prophecy. Keep thinking like a ghost they can't track but can't escape. They will keep adjusting because their survival depends on it, and you just keep evolving in silence. Remember, a lion that roars is powerful, but a lion that watches quietly, that's the one rewriting the food chain. You notice how the room changes when you enter, how the air tightens, how the chatter dips, how the energy flickers like a dying light bulb. That's not coincidence. That's not vibes. That's not imagination. That's recalibration. People don't just look at you now. They measure you. Every step you take forces them to reconsider theirs. Every expression you don't show forces them to reveal theirs. Every silence you hold forces them to fill in the blanks with their own fears. You became the mirror they're afraid to glance at, because it reflects the truth they've been running from. You outgrew every version of yourself they knew, and now they don't know what rules apply anymore. You're not the same person who let things go. You're not the same person who tolerated disrespect. You're not the same person who explained yourself to the unworthy. You're something sharper, something heavier, something more precise. And that precision, that terrifying surgical calm, is what makes them rearrange their lives around you, like prisoners reorganizing their cells before the warden walks in. People used to test you. Now they test the wind when you're near. People used to laugh at your intuition. Now they speak slowly, choosing each word like a detonator wire they're scared to cut. People used to underestimate your silence. Now they treat every quiet moment like a prelude to consequences they cannot survive. You became the human equivalent of a locked door with something breathing behind it, not loud enough to hear, but loud enough to fear. Because your evolution wasn't noisy, it wasn't dramatic, it wasn't chaotic, it was mathematically cold. You disappeared into your own mind, scaled yourself from the inside, returned with a different frequency, and the whole world had to adjust its antennas. People don't fear your presence. They fear what your presence implies. You understand things now, things you never voiced, things they hoped you'd never figure out. You read people through silence better than they read themselves through words. You detect tension, you detect lies, you detect insecurity, you detect shifts in tone, micro-expressions, patterns they thought were invisible. And that is why they rearrange their lives when you walk in. Because you became the one person they can't hide from. They can lie to their friends, they can lie to their family, they can lie to themselves. But you see the cracks before anyone admits they're breaking. You see the motive behind the apology. You see the fear behind the confidence. You see the envy behind the smile. You see the guilt hiding in their posture. And the most dangerous part, You don't say anything. You don't expose them. You don't confront them. You don't demand explanations. You just watch. And that kind of watching is a death sentence for the ego, because people can handle anger. They can handle yelling. They can handle confrontation. But being observed by someone who understands them better than they understand themselves, that dismantles them quietly, slowly, brutally. It makes them fix the way they talk, fix the way they stand, fix the way they treat you, fix the way they treat themselves, without you ever asking. That's not influence, that's not charisma, that's not power, that's gravitational dominance. A black hole doesn't yell for planets to rotate around it. They just do, because the force is too great to resist, and you became that force, a living anomaly that rewrites social physics. And here's the part they'll never admit. You didn't become powerful by being loud. You became powerful by being impossible to read. No tells, no leaks, no emotional breadcrumbs, just silence and transformation. And the world had to rearrange itself accordingly. So keep your quiet sharp, keep your moves minimal, keep your evolution invisible. Because the truth is simple. They don't fear what you show. They fear what they think you're hiding. And their imagination? Oh, that's a weapon you didn't even need to touch. Let them rearrange everything. Their habits, their boundaries, their alliances, their loyalty, their entire identity, all because you shifted 1 inch in silence. You've already won. You're already in their head, and they're rebuilding their entire existence around a ghost of you they can't predict, can't control, and can't survive disappointing. The funniest part? You never asked for any of this. You just evolved quietly. And the world reacted like you detonated a bomb. Keep going, keep evolving, keep letting your silence teach lessons your words never had to. Because they're not just watching your every move now. They're rearranging their lives to avoid being on the wrong side of your next one. Funny, isn't it? How the same people who once dismissed you now move like they're navigating a minefield every time you're near. They don't breathe the same. They don't talk the same. They don't even think the same. Because when someone evolves in silence, when someone grows without announcing it, it forces everyone else to rewrite their operating system. You became that update, the one they didn't authorize, but absolutely needed to survive. Their world was built on predictability, on knowing who you were, on assuming your reactions, your softness, your limits, your fears, and then suddenly, without permission, without a hint, without a whisper, you vanished into the cocoon of your own mind and emerged with a presence that bends entire rooms. You became the walking reminder that they underestimated the wrong person. And now, they rearrange everything. Not because they respect you, but because they can't risk misreading you again. You're a study they can't pass, a formula they can't solve, an equation that changes variables every time they get close. They're terrified not of what you said, but of what your silence has been collecting. You see, silence is not passive. Silence is a harvester. It gathers information. It memorizes patterns. It archives weaknesses. It detects fault lines. You didn't need to confront anybody. You didn't need to expose anyone. You didn't need to show your hand. You simply watched. And they felt it. The eyes that don't blink. The mind that doesn't forget. The intuition that doesn't flinch. You became the person whose quiet presence feels like an X-ray. People feel transparent around you. And humans hate transparency when they haven't cleaned their insides. That's why they adjust themselves. That's why they fix their tone. That's why they over-explain. That's why they overthink every move in your direction. Your silence isn't empty. It exposes their noise. Your stillness isn't weakness. It amplifies their instability. Your calm isn't passivity. It pressures their cracks until they confess themselves. People always reveal who they are around someone who doesn't react. And you became a master of not reacting, but they react for you. You realized what very few ever understand. When you stop engaging, the world starts scrambling. The ones who wronged you, suddenly cautious. The ones who doubted you, suddenly observant. The ones who competed with you, suddenly intimidated. The ones who thought they were above you, suddenly small. All because you stepped into a silence so deep that it forced everyone else to fill it with their truth. You didn't chase closure. You became closure. You didn't demand respect. You radiated something they couldn't disrespect, even if they tried. You didn't ask for loyalty. Your evolution made betrayal too expensive. And here's the part that haunts them the most. You're not angry. Anger is predictable. Anger has a script. Anger can be negotiated with. But your calm, your silence, your serenity, that's a danger they can't categorize. You're not a threat they can fight. You're a presence they must adapt to. You are the psychological equivalent of waking up in a different reality, where the person they underestimated is now the axis their lives revolve around. Even their confidence bends around you now. Even their secrets tremble near you. Even their lies die in their throats. Because they know. You're not the same creature they used to navigate. You became the paradox. Too quiet to predict. Too observant to deceive. Too calm to manipulate. Too evolved to approach casually. People rearrange their lives not around your noise, but around your potential. The potential of what you might say. The potential of what you might expose. The potential of what you might become. That's what terrifies them. The versions of you they haven't met yet. The ones you're still building in the shadows. The ones you're sharpening in the quiet. The ones they can't prepare for. You think they're watching you now. Just wait. Silence is not the absence of power. It is the preparation of it. And you are preparing something enormous. You are the calm before a shift so massive that the people rearranging their lives today will be unrecognizable tomorrow. So keep going. Move silently. Evolve ruthlessly. Grow without witnesses. Transform without applause. They'll keep rearranging, because every silent step you take moves their entire world. Listen closely. There's a strange kind of quiet crawling across the concrete tonight. Not peace, not calm, not fear. Something worse, something only a mind like yours can trigger. Because the moment you opened your mouth, the moment that thought leaked out of your skull like a forbidden signal, the whole city froze as if someone unplugged the simulation and hit pause. They didn't just go silent. They went empty. Like their IQs logged out to avoid the embarrassment. And you felt it, didn't you? That sharp drop in the atmosphere, that sudden vacuum where pride used to live, that collective inhale of people realizing, we were not built for this level of intelligence. You didn't raise your voice, you didn't flex muscle, you didn't threaten a soul. All you did was think out loud. And reality buckled. Funny, isn't it? How your quietest truth is louder than their entire education combined. Now come closer. Don't blink. Because here's the part they'll never admit. They've always suspected you were different. They just didn't expect to be publicly outclassed by a single sentence. You exposed the entire IQ distribution with one accidental spark from your intuition. Like an angel whispering equations or a demon cracking open the blueprint behind human consciousness. And while they stood still, eyes wide, mouths half open, brains buffering like corrupted files. You kept breathing, unbothered, as if intelligence was something you were born with, not something you chased. But let me tell you the secret they're choking on. You didn't embarrass them. They embarrassed themselves by trying to keep up with you. See, most people speak to be heard. You speak to reveal. Most people think to survive. You think to reshape the room the moment you enter. And that's what terrifies them. They thought intelligence was a ladder, something you climb, something linear, predictable. But you move like a paradox. Half saint, half psychopath, half guardian, half executioner. A walking contradiction with a smile sharp enough to cut through their delusions. Your intellect isn't a ladder. It's a labyrinth they can't escape from. Because no matter how fast they run, they still end up right where you left them, standing in a hallway built from their own insecurities. And when you spoke today, oh, they felt it, that childhood fear, that test they didn't study for, that sickening drop in the stomach when they realize someone can see through their entire soul like it's made of scratched glass. You didn't destroy their confidence. You diagnosed it. You didn't insult their intelligence. You revealed its expiration date. But here's the delicious part, the part that twists the knife the way you like. They thought staying quiet would hide their weakness. But silence only makes your genius echo louder. Every time they hold their breath, your presence gets heavier, your intuition sharper, your insight more terrifying. Because you're not intelligent by accident. You're intelligent by evolution, by fire, by pain, by surviving rooms where you had to outthink everyone just to stay sane. They learned from textbooks. You learned from chaos. They memorized answers. You rewired the entire test. They gained knowledge. You gained sight. And sight? Sight is what separates the angels from the monsters. Sight is what turns a human into a myth. Sight is what makes people freeze when you decide to speak. So don't apologize for that silence. Don't shrink to make them comfortable. Don't dim your mind so their world can stay intact. Let them glitch. Let them choke. Let them stare at you like a cosmic error in their little algorithm. Because deep down, they know the truth. You didn't expose their IQ. You exposed their limits. The ones they'll never escape as long as you continue to evolve. And trust me, you're only getting started. You haven't even lifted the veil. You haven't even flexed the real part of your mind. You haven't even shown them the version of you that walks between shadow and light, between intuition and instinct, between creator and destroyer. That version? Oh, that version is the one they're praying never wakes up. But you feel it, don't you? Crawling up your spine, sharpening your thoughts, stretching your perception past what they said was possible. A new evolution, a darker one, a smarter one, a more dangerous one. And when that version finally steps into the room, the city won't just go silent. It will kneel. Ah, there it is, that shift behind your eyes, the kind that doesn't blink, the kind that doesn't doubt, the kind that tells me you're ready for the part they fear the most, because silence was just the opening act. What comes next? Oh, that's where things get beautifully catastrophic. You see, when the whole city froze after your words slipped out, they weren't just shocked. They weren't just intimidated. They were exposed. Their mental armor cracked open, and suddenly everyone's pretending they didn't feel the ground drop beneath them, but you felt it. You felt the way reality bent just a little, like the universe itself leaned in and whispered. Finally, they heard you. And while they looked at you like a glitch in their cognitive matrix, You stood there wondering how they survived this long with minds that fragile. But let me tell you something you've always known but never admitted. You were never meant to match their level. You were meant to ruin it. Your intelligence isn't a skill. It's a weapon forged in experiences they never had the courage to survive. Your intuition isn't a guess. It's a radar calibrated by trauma, obsession, pattern recognition, and a sixth sense they could never grow, because their world never forced them to evolve past comfort. But you had to learn to see in the dark. You had to learn to listen between the lies. You had to learn to dissect people before their intentions reached your doorstep. Your IQ isn't high. It's predatory. It hunts. It analyzes. It anticipates. It devours illusions whole. And that is why they went silent, not because they didn't understand your words, but because they understood them too well. You spoke truth, encoded in a frequency their egos aren't insulated against, and instead of rising to the challenge, they folded, like moths trying to outshine a wildfire. But here's the part that really terrifies them, and the part that makes me grin. You didn't try. That was your minimum output. Your throwaway brilliance, your accidental radiance. If one stray thought from you can shut down an entire social ecosystem, what happens when you actually decide to aim? What happens when you weaponize that clarity, when you sharpen your insight, when you stop holding back to keep their insecurities from collapsing? What happens when the version of you that you've been politely suppressing finally steps forward? Oh, that's when the city stops being silent and becomes obedient. You think they're scared now? Wait until they realize you don't even use your full bandwidth. You're running at 20%, maybe 30% on a day you feel generous. You've been pacing yourself, diluting yourself, downplaying your brilliance to protect the fragile stability of people who can't handle the real temperature of your mind. But your silence today, your accidental exposure of their limits, it woke something ancient in you, something that remembers every time you bit your tongue to avoid their jealousy, something that remembers nights where your thoughts spiraled into patterns they would never understand, something that remembers the exact moment you realized you were thinking on levels others can't even name. That part of you, the part made of intuition and fire, of equations and instinct, of light that looks suspiciously like darkness, is stretching awake, and once it stands up fully, oh, they won't just fall silent. They'll worship you or run from you, no in-between. Because intelligence like yours doesn't stay neutral. It polarizes, it divides, it creates new hierarchies simply by existing in the same room. You are the storm they pretend is a breeze. You are the anomaly they pray isn't real. You are the mind that forces every other mind to confront its own expiration date. And you know what the funniest part is? You still haven't shown them your dark side, your ruthless clarity, your surgical precision, your ability to read a person in a single blink and dismantle their entire identity with one quiet observation. You know that version of you. The one that watches instead of speaks. The one that analyzes instead of reacts. The one that smiles when others panic. Yeah, that version is stepping forward now. You can feel it breathing behind your ribs, pressing at the edges of your skull, whispering, "Stop shrinking. Let them drown in the truth." And you will not by shouting, not by arguing, not by proving anything. You'll do it the same way you did today, by accidentally thinking out loud and making the whole city go still like sinners hearing their verdict. So go on. Walk into the next room, open your mouth again. Let another unfiltered fragment of your mind slip into the air. Watch how quickly they forget to breathe. Watch how silence becomes your shadow. Watch how their eyes widen like you're the first real thing they've ever seen. Because you didn't just expose their IQs, you exposed their ceilings and you. You don't have one. Oh, you feel that, don't you? That static rising behind your skull. That delicious pressure building in your chest. That pull, the one that feels like some deeper, older version of you is finally slipping the cuffs off. Good. Because we're just getting started. You think the city went silent because you said something smart? No. They went silent because you shifted the hierarchy without warning. You introduced a new predator into an ecosystem full of prey who thought they were equal, and nothing terrifies a crowd faster than realizing intelligence can be carnivorous. Let me paint the moment for you. The exact second the room froze, there you were, speaking casually, almost bored, while your mind sliced through the problem like it was made of damp paper. And them, they were listening with that hopeful glimmer that people get when they think they're keeping up. Then, your insight hit the air, not loud, not dramatic, just true in a way their entire nervous systems weren't prepared for. It was surgical, precise, a revelation disguised as a passing comment, and instantly, you could feel them deflate. Their confidence leaked out invisibly, their IQs abandoned ship, their brains scrambled, frantically rewriting the social code of the room. We are not on this person's level. We should not speak next. We should not challenge this. We should not even exhale wrong. They weren't admiring you. They were recalibrating their entire sense of self around your presence. Your intelligence did something textbooks never talk about. It reorganized the food chain. People think fear comes from power. It doesn't. Fear comes from unpredictability, and you're not just smart. You're unpredictable in a way that feels almost supernatural. You don't speak like someone who learned. You speak like someone who sees. Like an angel dissecting timelines. Like a demon solving equations on the inside of their skull. Like a creature who walks between perspectives instead of inside them. Your mind moves sideways, through walls, through people, through masks. That's why they freeze. Humans can handle liars. They can handle fools. They can handle bullies. They can even handle geniuses, as long as those geniuses stay predictable. But they cannot handle someone who thinks in the dark. Someone whose insights come from angles they don't even know exist. Someone who can cut a person open mentally without raising their voice. Someone like you. And here's the part that makes their silence even darker. They're terrified to speak now, because they think you can hear the stupidity in their sentences before they finish them. Not because you judge them, but because you see them, the way a blade sees a throat. Your intuition. Oh, that's the part that haunts them. The most people can fake intelligence. They can memorize facts. They can rehearse cleverness. But they cannot escape the feeling that your mind reaches into places they didn't give you permission to explore. You expose their patterns, their intentions, their weaknesses, their inconsistencies, their lies, their fears, their silent motives. You read people the way surgeons read X-rays, and when you speak, it's like you're holding up a mirror so brutally honest that their souls flinch. But this silence, this delicious citywide quiet, it's not shame, it's anticipation. They're waiting to see what version of you comes next. The benevolent one who forgives their mediocrity, or the other one, the one that lives in your shadows, the one forged by pain, molded by chaos, evolved through betrayal. The one that looks at the world the way a hawk looks at a trembling mouse. Not cruelly, just accurately, because that version of you, the one you've kept restrained, isn't just intelligent. It's lethal. It doesn't argue. It doesn't explain. It doesn't perform. It decides. And the moment that version steps forward fully, the city won't just go silent. It will obey. So breathe in that quiet. Let it coat your lungs. Let it sharpen your senses. Let it confirm what you've always known. You are not like them. You were never meant to be. Your mind was built in a different furnace, and now that they've seen even a glimpse of it, they'll never forget it. They'll never recover from it. They'll never hear another voice in the room without comparing it to yours and feeling that sting of inferiority. You didn't just expose their IQ. You exposed their illusion that they ever had a chance to keep up. So keep going. Keep speaking. Keep letting pieces of your mind slip into the air like forbidden code. Watch the world go quiet every single time. Because intelligence like yours doesn't just change conversations. It changes hierarchies. And tonight, you just reset the whole city. Oh, look at you. Still here, still awake, still hungry. Good. Because we're diving deeper into the part of the story they pray you never discover. You think the silence ended with the city. No, that silence spread outward, sideways, digital, physical, psychological. People didn't just stop talking. They stopped thinking out loud around you. Stopped sharing ideas. Stopped trying to match wits. Stopped pretending they were equals. Because once someone like you reveals your true mental altitude, everybody else becomes painfully aware they're walking barefoot on a mountain you were born on. And that realization, it hits them like frostbite. Let's go back to that moment. The one you thought was small, insignificant, just another casual flash of insight you've learned to hide. You said your thought, just one observation, one pattern, one truth. And suddenly the air changed temperature. A tension formed, not thick, not loud, but sharp, like someone dragged a razor through the atmosphere, and the room still hasn't healed because your intelligence doesn't strike like lightning. Lightning is loud, predictable, impressive. No, your intelligence strikes like radiation, silent, invisible, undeniable, irreversible. People don't realize they've been exposed until something inside them starts burning. And oh, today, it burned. You could see it in their faces. That microscopic twitch when they realized you weren't participating in the conversation. You were evaluating it. You weren't thinking on the same track. You were thinking above it. Not along the timeline, but parallel to it. Not at their level, but several layers beneath it. Inside the gears, behind the curtain. Reading the source code while they were still squinting at the UI. That's why the city went silent. Your mind makes noise unnecessary. Your insight makes opinions irrelevant. Your clarity makes arguments obsolete. You don't overpower them. You out-evolve them in real time. And it's not your speed that scares them. Speed is predictable. It's your angle you think diagonally, while they think forward. You think in spirals, while they think in lines. You think in probabilities, while they think in preferences. You don't follow logic. You reshape it. And do you know what that makes you? Dangerous. Not because you'd hurt them, but because you see them, really see them, past their tone, past their posture, past their curated personality, straight into the machinery that keeps their ego running. You see the insecurity behind their confidence. You see the fear behind their curiosity. You see the inadequacy behind their politeness. and that terrifies them more than violence ever could. When you spoke today, they weren't thinking, "Wow, that was smart." No, they were thinking, "Oh God, if this is what they say out loud, what do they see when they look at me?" They're scared because your intelligence isn't performative, it's diagnostic. It doesn't seek applause, it seeks truth. And truth, real truth, is the one thing most people spend their entire lives avoiding. But you swallow it whole, you breathe it in, you metabolize it, you weaponize it, you turn truth into direction, direction into momentum, momentum into evolution. Your mind doesn't just think, it transforms. And now, they've seen that. They've seen how fast your brain adapts. They've seen how easily you dismantle illusions. They've seen how effortlessly you solve problems that make grown adults sweat. They've seen the way your eyes narrow right before your intuition fires. That split-second shift where you detach from the surface and dive into the undercurrent where reality actually hides. You know that moment, don't you? The moment where time slows, voices fade, patterns sharpen, the world becomes a blueprint, and you become the architect. Most people spend their entire lives trying to understand one version of reality. You navigate multiple at once. You track the visible pattern, the invisible pattern, the implied pattern, the potential pattern, and the unstable pattern all in the same breath. Your mind is a maze with moving walls, and they're lost in it, not because they're stupid, but because you're unmap-able. And now, now they know. They know they can't predict you. They know they can't fake intelligence around you. They know they can't manipulate you. They know they can't hide anything. They know they can't even lie to themselves in front of you. And that silence, that heavy, collective, citywide silence, isn't fear of your words. It's fear of your vision, fear of being seen, fear of being understood, fear of being decoded by someone who doesn't need clues. So walk forward, say something else, anything, even a whisper. Watch the world bend again, watch their minds bow, watch their egos crack under the pressure of your presence. Because you didn't just expose their IQ, you exposed the truth they've always tried to bury. There is no version of reality where they ever catch up to you.